What is up, my friends? You are very welcome along to the second video of the day here on Anfield Agenda. And for this video, we're going to be looking at the ownership situation at Liverpool Football Club. A lot has been said and written over the past couple of weeks, but I'm going to just try and recap everything and see where we're at, what we know to be true, and what we can potentially expect. As always, I want your thoughts on this ownership situation. Let me know in the comment section. Drop a like on the video, and of course, please do hit that subscribe button for us. So look, where are we at right now? Well, one thing I can say, I think factually, is that the rumours about QIA being interested in acquiring some of Liverpool Football Club is true. Those conversations are taking place. A guy by the name of Alex Miller, who has an account on Twitter, obviously, has been saying mergers and acquisition people I'm talking to have confirmed there is definite interest and talks between QIA and Liverpool Football Club. Don't forget, QIA are potentially interested in all big UK clubs, different sources with different information. But what I see as the most likely outcome right now, based on what very knowledgeable people are writing about, is that FSG sell part of the football club. The more they can bring in with regards to the sale and the valuation of the club, obviously the more that they can potentially put back into the club. So as of now, it is believed that Liverpool Football Club has seen an increase of £535 million in valuation just over the past 2 years. Now let that sink in for a second. That is nearly twice the price they bought the club for. And they've seen the value of that asset rise over 2 years by over £500 million. Now you can understand why they're in no rush. So that's where I think we come in as fans, because, okay, FSG own the club and FSG have the ability to drag this out as long as they want. But what is unforgivable to all of us is if they drag it out to the detriment of the summer transfer window. So I'm quite relaxed on it all. I do really believe that Klopp will be given the money come hell or high water to bring in Bellingham and a couple of players that he needs in the summer. It just remains to be seen whose money that will be with. Will it be FSG potentially selling some of the club? That remains to be seen. I would probably feel more comfortable if the likes of QIA or a sovereign fund were to come on board that they didn't own all the club immediately. I think it would be a nice scenario to have FSG and another partner, particularly if it is from a sovereign fund like QIA, that we can then see the lay of the land and get a picture of. But I think I speak for all of us when I say one thing. We are patient fans. We have been through a lot. We are reactionary at times, and I include myself in that. But ultimately, we all want the same thing, right? We want success for the football club. Everybody has a different viewpoint on ownership and who they'd like to see in, and that, of course, is understandable because none of us think the same. We're all different people. We're all unique. We all have our own opinions. What bugs me and what gets to me is when people just try to belittle others to push their belief systems onto them. So I am somebody who doesn't like the idea of a state owning a football club, but I do understand that the world is where it is, and for me the idea of FSG maybe selling part of the club to QIA or somebody else is better than a full sale, because it leaves us with at least some knowledge of what to expect. Because whatever we think of FSG, they are steady as she goes owners. They have grown the club. They have done so ultimately for their own benefit in the long term and for their end sale price. And I've always been okay with that personally. I'd much rather have somebody like FSG who takes their huge payoff when they sell the club than somebody who comes in and just starts ripping money out of the football club. You know, the Glazers and the amount of money that they spend at Manchester United just servicing the debt that they put on the club in order to buy the club with their leverage buyout is thankfully not a situation that we see. And also, you know, with Hicks and Gillette, we had a situation where, quite frankly, they hadn't got the money to do the things that they wanted. And with the world where it was financially at the time, banks weren't willing to lend. So they were forced out of the club, to our happiness, I guess, really, and pleasure and relief more than anything, because God, that was a tough time, wasn't it? So right now at FSG, if you want to pigeonhole me into a box, I am FSG out. I don't trust John W. Henry whatsoever in any way, shape or form. But I think in order for us to have credibility in this conversation as a channel and as football fans, we have to acknowledge the good stuff that they've done. We don't have to forgive the bad stuff, but we are in a process right now where their exit from the football club is starting to happen. Whether that is a slow phase thing with a partial sale and then a full sale in the future, who knows? Quite frankly, right now, your guess is as good as mine. I'm not going to sit here and claim that I have knowledge on what's going on behind the scenes with the sale of the football club, because I would be lying to you. I've no idea, not got a clue. But I'm fairly relaxed about it, because I do believe that we will have that money in the summer. And that's ultimately all I care about right now, is Jurgen Klopp getting the tools and the funds to build his second team. We know we're carrying too many passengers at the minute. I heard Jordan Henderson today come out and speak about the hangover from the World Cup and stuff like that. Not the news we really want to be hearing. We don't, and I think I speak for all of us Liverpool fans, or certainly most of us, we don't care about the World Cup. We don't care about the English national team or any other national teams and how they get on. We care about Liverpool Football Club. So to hear our captain talk about that is a little bit infuriating. But then again, he did back it up with some, positive points about how everyone's working hard, but it's been a difficult time, yada, yada, yada. Hasn't been a difficult time for other clubs, though. I feel like we are suffering a hangover from last season, more so than the World Cup. It must be very hard to go from the heights and the adrenaline that the lads were at to kind of just falling away a bit this season. So that change is needed. That rebuilding of the squad is needed. And if we look at it from an FSG perspective, they came in and bought Liverpool Football Club for around 300 million, but they bought it under the belief that FFP was going to be enforced by UEFA. Now, for whatever reason you want to believe, whether it be money, vested interest, political pressure, FFP isn't really enforceable. There have been some smaller clubs that have been held to account and banned, but ultimately when it comes to the big tests, Manchester City as an example, they have had better lawyers and found loopholes and worked their way around the system. So FSG then wanted to go the Super League route, and that's where they lost me. That's where they lost any credibility or belief from me, because to me that was selling us out. That was selling our whole way of how we consume the sport, how we believe in the sport, the sporting integrity of the sport down the river, to ensure that they have a guaranteed set of funds coming in year after year, because don't forget, they're used to an American sports model where there is no relegation, there is no promotion, and once you have, for want of a better term, a franchise in an American sport, you're at least guaranteed that commercial revenue every year from whether it be baseball, NFL or NBA. So I get it from their perspective, but I don't really care about it from their perspective. I only care about it from the perspective of us, Liverpool fans. And what we want is for the football club to not make the mistakes of the past, which has been sitting on our hands and allowing others to catch us up when we're in a position of strength or when we're on top. Manchester United did it. We need to learn from that. We did it before Manchester United. Now we're seeing a situation where unless the club act quickly over the next few windows, we are going to become also Rans again. And our manager and all the hard work that's been done deserve better than that. So I'm hopeful for the future, but I'm awaiting more news on what happens with FSG. Personally, I hope the sooner the better we see the back of them, but there are some caveats to that. Again, the be careful what you wish for scenario comes to mind, because there are a lot worse potential owners out there as well, so we do need to keep that in mind. But for right now, it looks like they're progressing towards trying to sell some of the football club, and if that releases money for the manager, it's a good start. Over to you for your opinions, my friends. Looking forward to reading your thoughts in the comment section. I will catch up with you guys tomorrow. Much love. Bye-bye.